maximum city is engulfed in a thick grey haze as poor air quality continues to impact the city. Amid worsening air quality in Mumbai, the BMC has decided to impose GRAP 4 norms in the city. Yes, GRAP 4, something which was associated with Delhi, is now in Mumbai as well, which means you know the drill. All construction works, private, public, will be suspended immediately in areas where the air quality is above 120. Now, those areas for now have been identified by the BMC, particularly two, Borivali East and Baikula. And as a result, today, all construction activities were halted in these two parts of Mumbai in order to curb dust pollution. Now, the problem is, while the solutions may be the same, GRAP 4, it doesn't add up. Look at the graphic on your head. Delhi has to deal with a landlocked location. Mumbai is a coastal area. It has sea breezes all the time. Delhi is dependent on stubble burning being controlled by neighboring states, sometimes even by neighboring countries like Pakistan. It has to deal with different political stakeholders being present and their motives coming under question. Mumbai doesn't have that problem. Delhi also has to deal with extreme cold. It had always have problem with fog every year in winter, and when fog mixes with fluents and with effluents and industrial pollutants like soot, it creates it soot S plus fog smog. Mumbai doesn't have that problem. It has mostly benign weather. So what exactly is Mumbai as an excuse? Why is a city like Mumbai having to deal with air quality? That is the big question. I'm going to be joined by my esteemed guests on this panel at this point. Dr. Neville Mehta is a former CEO of Mumbai First, a very proud and prominent Mumbaiker. Gufran Beg is founder, project director of Safar and chair of professor. Advocate Sushil Vyas is national spokesperson of the Shiv Sena Shinde faction, which is, of course, the ruling alliance in Maharashtra. And I'm also hoping to be joined by Anish Gawande, who's the national spokesperson of the NCP Sharad Pawar faction here. Let me first start off at this point with Gufran Beg. So, if you can break it down for our viewers, why is Mumbai having to deal with these kind of visuals, which today, if I had not seen that location tag which we have put out on our screens, I would assume these are visuals from Delhi. Why is Mumbai having to see these screens?
See, Mumbai, as you rightly said, it has a lot of natural disadvantage being surrounded three sides by the coastal. But with the changing climate, it is equally vulnerable to any kind of a changes, or if we go beyond a limit which Mumbai, atmosphere cannot take it. And that is what it is happening. This time, for last 10 days, air quality has gone very bad. Now, this was basically originated from the Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan side. There is a dust storm. Normally, during this period of time in winter, it doesn't travel too much. It traveled to Arabian Sea and it entered in Mumbai. But the problem here, what I would like to point out here, that all the Mumbaikar, everybody could see there is a hazy sky and the air quality has really gone very bad. But then the authorities were showing moderate or poor air quality. And somehow this layer was not descending down. Normally, in a normal course, it should descend down. It should create a big, better, worse air quality. It should have gone to very poor, severe, but it was not showing. But the ground reality, the reflections were going very bad. And that is a very typical kind of a situation, which is a very unusual. And these unusual events, unusual thing, which is, even defying the natural advantage, is basically maximum visible in the coastal area. Okay. And this is what it is happening in Mumbai also, where the local anthropogenic sources pollution is already gone to a saturation level.
Okay. Dr. Neville Mehta, as someone I'm sure who is a proud and a very prominent Mumbaiker, what is the first thought that comes to your mind when you wake up and you see these visuals, scenes that Mumbai is unfortunately forcing itself to now become familiar with? Do you feel betrayed?
Thank you, Atanu, for having me on the show. I feel very betrayed. People who are now my friends who have retired, they cherish their morning walks out, and they wanted to be out in the mornings, go to the park, meet people, and also spend some quality time with their friends, maybe exercise, have a leisurely walk. But they cannot do so because they fear for their health. And that is very, very sad, that the health of the citizens of Mumbai is being played around with and not taken seriously by the same people who are supposed to guard our health, the same people who are supposed to look after our health, and the same people who talk about environment friendliness and environment conservation and environment sustainability. So I'm a little shocked, sad, dismayed. I don't know which other adjectives I can use. It's not going to make a difference, though.
Indeed, and well spoken as this point. Advocate Sushil Vyas then. As a representative of the ruling Maoisti government, isn't this a massive failure when it comes to urban planning and pollution control? That Mumbaikars are now having to deal with what Delhi has, despite having none of the unavoidable issues which a city like Delhi has to deal with.
Good evening. No doubt, this is a very situation where everybody should be worried about. And what Mr. Beg and Mr. Mehta said, I agree with them. The situation is there where the things should improve. But the administration, namely MCGM, Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, have taken steps, as you know that about 78 projects were
No,
given stay.
see, it's the
And
same
then
problem,
those other,
Advocate Vyas. Advocate Vyas, it's the same problem. It's the same place where people in Delhi go wrong, and Gufran Bey can also come up. Grab
yeah.
4 is not a solution. Grab 4 is like coming up with a medicine or a paracetamol once the patient is sick. The point is, why is the patient sick in the first place?
No, I was just coming to that. This was the one of the steps which the Municipal
Hmm.
Corporation of Greater Mumbai took. And then there's a deep clean drive, which we have similar situation arisen last year also. Even CM himself went that out on the road and then started deep clean drive that controlled AQI level to a great extent. So the administration and the government of Maharashtra, they are trying, they are aware of it, and where they are concerned, we are tomorrow we are having cabinet meeting of Maharashtra, first cabinet meeting after allocation of departments. So definitely, seriously, it will be tackled, and then situation will be brought under the control.
So you are saying that this is a one-off thing, but Advocate Vyas, the problem is, and again, environmentalists will tell you, is this a consequence of an infrastructure push? That's something which Devendra Fadnavis ji has been quite proud of, has been quite popular about. When you look at what happened with RA, when you look at what is being proposed with Dharavi, is this the consequence Mumbai will now have to pay for infrastructure being developed at the cost of the limited lungs which the maximum city already has?
Dharavi, actually, only this is a very initial stage. Dharavi is nothing started yet that way. It's only a proposal, and then the initial stage where the contract has to be finalized, and then RA is far away from the Baikala and Borivali East. So the area which we are initially in our opening remark you mentioned, and the stay has been granted to 78 projects by MCGM are not RA and Dharavi. They are Baikala East, Baikala and Borivali East. So, but overall, about 25 AQI monitoring stations are there in Mumbai. About 12, we are worried some, and then we are taking care of it. Administration and the government of Maharashtra are equally worried about it, and definitely steps will be taken at the SOS level to how to control this AQI level.
I mean, Advocate Vyas, this studio might be from Noida, but I can assure you our PCR team is from Mumbai and they can't fact check every claim you're making. RA is part of Sanjay Gandhi National Park, which is very much within the core city limits at this point. So it's not that, and as any environmentalist will tell you, it is not something that these things don't operate in a chamber. But nevertheless, Dr. Neville Mehta, uh, the point is that when it comes to a city like Mumbai, where space and some basic necessities are often at a premium, which is why every time we see what happens in Mumbai locals, the way people jostle for any space, any sort of basic necessities like commuting, the question then comes is that talking about environment, talking about pollution control is a rich man's privilege, which is why perhaps we only saw Bollywood celebrities and rich socialites protesting for RA when it was being cut down. If Mumbai has to prioritize, is it not inevitable that these issues will come on the back burner?
Once again, as I said, Vyasji just mentioned that the BMC and the chief minister spurred to action when things became so extremely bad that the 60% of the AQI stations were beyond, as we say, very poor quality. But what happened to them? Why couldn't they monitor it before it went into the very poor section? Why is it that our government always firefights? Why is it that first 5, 10 people are killed, or 25 people are killed, or there is the whole bridge coming down, and then people spur to action, including the chief minister and the government? They will go and look at the site. What is there to look at the site? It's not a tourist site, my friend. It is something that you're dealing with the day-to-day common people's lives. Can they understand what they are doing? Can they understand the severity? Or are they just trying to hoodwink us? We are not fools. We are not stupid people. We Indians are tolerant, docile people, but don't test our limits to that extent that my life does not matter to you. And at the same time, you want me to pay the full tax. So where is the money going? And who's responsible for my life? If why don't you get up and tell us you're not responsible? We citizens will come together and we'll do what we have to do. But once and for all, take a call either this way or that way. You cannot
and
keep
not to
fooling
mention
us every now and
BMCs.
then.
And not to mention, BMC is one of the richest municipal bodies in Asia. Advocate Vyas, some very important points being made by Neville. Would you like to counter him?
Not counter him. I am just agreeing with what he has said, but then I want to assure him every life, every citizen's life is equally important for us, including what you have said. But then the administration and the government in power, they are definitely responsible to answer, and we are definitely facing the situation, and we'll tackle the situation the manner in which it should be. And as early as possible, the things will be brought under control. It's not that nobody's life is important. Everybody's life is
I wish I could be. I hope your words are reassuring at this point. The problem is, Advocate Vyas, as someone in Delhi NCR for the last several years, we have been hearing this so much. Thankfully, I can say that there's no political tutume are now involved here because it's double engine ki sarkar. But Gufran Beg coming in at this point. The statement which was once made on this very show that GRAP is something like a solution. Now, given the fact that cities like Delhi and Mumbai have vastly different reasons for why they get so polluted, can the solutions come down to a one-size-fits-all policy?
See, the point, I would like to make a even larger point that here this time situation in Mumbai air quality related is extremely confusing. People are confused. Why? Because firstly, that what we hear about GRAPE 1, 2, 3, 4 in Delhi, there is a CAQM, there is a commission exists, which doesn't exist, which should be there, in the time to come. But the point here is that GRAPE 4 is being implemented when air quality goes to severe plus, which is one of the most dangerous 4th, 5th level, whereas air quality authorities, what they are showing is a moderate and poor, where as per the GRAPE thing, only GRAPE 2 has to be filled up. So firstly, you need to own the problem. Now, why the GRAPE 4 has come? Because judiciary intervened. Otherwise, this GRAPE 4 would not have probably come, because it will not come unless, you accept that air quality has gone to severe plus. So the judiciary has come in to rescue. But well, coming to your point, most important is that the PM 2.5 composition, being a coastal station, huge amount of humidity, the particle composition is much more dangerous as compared to Delhi composition of PM 2.5. So we need not to wait for severe or very poor. Here the poor and very poor are as toxic as severe in Delhi. This is very important, and that is the reason that you have been seeing that people are going to the hospital admissions and all those which is happening. But we need to own the problem.
So you're making a very important, Gufran Beg, that an AQI of 120 in Mumbai cannot be compared to an AQI of 120 in Delhi, because right now, if you look at the option that, 120 is nothing, Delhi with we are dealing with 300, 350, it's problematic because AQI of 120 in Mumbai can be equivalent to AQI of 350 in this thing. So Dr. Neville, then I'll come to you for the last word at this point. Yeah, go on, Gufran, complete your point.
Yeah, so at this point, I would like to make that although there is no completely correlation is happening, but then Mumbai has a suffer early warning system, which is there since last 2015. We should have known this 3 days or 4 days in advance, but now the dust storm has gone, it is subsiding, and then GRAPE 4 has come, that too with the judicial intervention. I think we must have keeping in mind that toxicity level is high. And there should be a relationship, as I can say, roughly 200 AQI of Mumbai is, I think, as toxic as 300 AQI in Delhi, more or less, is a general calculation based on the papers. So this is very important that the CAQM kind of a authority. Otherwise, who will? I'm not seeing who will be making the implementation. This grade 4 is suddenly came, and Mumbai is not prepared for grade 4. Grade 4 is a big thing. There are 8 intervention. It's not only the construction activity. It is all the diesel.
So it's
vehicle,
essentially once
everything
again
is
the same shoe being shoehorned onto, so the same shoe being put onto another foot, irrespective of whether it has unique solutions, unique triggers at this point. But at the end of the day, Dr. Neville, if you look at it, given how both Mumbai, despite not having any external environmental problems, just on the strength of its industrial and vehicular pollution is becoming smoggy. Are we now looking at a reality where smog and air pollution are not going to be a Delhi-specific problem, but a pan-urban India problem?
Absolutely correct. I mean, it has to be done and dealt with on an all India level, and it has to come out with proper policies and proper systems in place which have to work. For instance, Mehta said that there is already a monitoring agency. Why was that agency sleeping all this time? Why did they not bring this up? What is the sense of having a monitoring agency for which you pay thousands of rupees to monitor this thing, and they are sleeping. They don't even know what was happening in their back door. And what happens, as Mr. Beg also rightly said, that you're talking about people not knowing about it, and that quality of air is now toxic. You mean to say that none of them realize this? So I again tell you that I'm saying that the government is playing with the lives of common people. You are actually pushing us to breathe toxic air, go to the hospitals and pay money to doctors just because we want a mere human requirement of fresh air, which you cannot give us. Now, what is it that you want to give us in life? Please let us know what I'm saying. Any government, I'm not a political person. I'm a simple human citizen of India, and I want to know,
Yes,
can
and
I breathe fresh air?
which is why we are glad that people like you, Dr. Mehta, come on this platform, because far too often we have seen far important issues being reduced to political tutu-meme. At this point, all I can say is, Advocate Vyas, with all due respect here, and I hope you carry this feedback ahead to your party members and your government as well. We do not want Mumbai and the rest of India to go through what Delhi went through. Look at it as someone coming from 8 years in the future from Mumbai. Mumbai has a lot of benefits which Delhi does not. Let us please not reduce Mumbai to what Delhi has to go through, what we have to breathe every day in the national capital. Thank you so much, Dr. Neville Mehta, Bhushan Beg, and Advocate Vyas, for joining me on this very important discussion. We head in for a short break now. On the other side, we look and ask a very simple question. Gautam Gambhir, the guru of Indian cricket team, is he a villain or a victim? Stay tuned to Mirror Now.